Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week, and today I have a book review for you on Howl's Moving Castle by Diane Wynne Jones. And just as a quick little clarification in case I forget anything about this book, it's because I'm really tired. I just woke up from napping to film this, and also I finished this book on Christmas, so a couple weeks ago, so some of the details might be a little bit foggy, but I do remember the storyline pretty well. Yes, and you may have seen this a movie version of this by Hayao Miyazaki, Ghibli Studios, that whole gang, and that movie is really, really good. I haven't seen it for a couple of years, but to my recollection, it was pretty accurate to the book, which was awesome. I remember a couple months ago, I want to say, when I was looking at books online and stuff, it was suggested that I read this book, and I remember seeing it, and Howl's Moving Castle is one of my favorite Studio Ghibli movies, and I haven't seen it for a couple of years. So I was immediately like, yes, I want to read the book and stuff. And then I happened to be at a Japanese grocery store that also has a bookstore inside of it in Seattle. It's kind of weird. Anyway, so I was at a Japanese bookstore a couple weeks later, and I saw this there for like $14, and I was like, yep, hit me up. So I got it then and finally read it and stuff. It's weird because, like, this is a thick book because, you know, there's, well, 429 pages in it. However, the type on it, hopefully this isn't giving any spoilers, like, you can see that the type is ginormous. So it is more of a children's book, you know, young adult. So I'd say, like, you know, you could probably read this in 4th or 5th grade, I'd say. I don't really know. I'm not a super good judge of books for that because I was placed in an advanced reading class when I was in elementary school, and then when I moved to school districts, I just happened to keep reading at a different level than other people, so I don't really know, but I think 4th or 5th grade would be good to read it. Like, that's probably the best age when it might still be a challenge for you. I don't know. But yeah, like, I think anyone could read this book, honestly. It's really, really good. So if you don't know what Howl's Moving Castle is about, or if you may have forgotten because I've not seen the movie in a while, it's about this girl named Sophie, and Sophie is the oldest of 3 sisters, and she works at her father's old hat shop. Her father dies early on in the book, and she has her stepmom and her 2 younger sisters just with her in the hat shop. And her 2 younger sisters go off to start new jobs and stuff. The youngest, I think, works at a bakery, I want to say, and then the middle one goes and works with a witch. I'm not exactly sure. And Sophie stays at the hat shop, and she's just really bored all the time because she's just making hats. So she kind of talks to the hats, and she feels like they start to get a little bit nicer, and like everyone starts to come and buy the hats, and so there's that fun thing going on. And then one day she is in the hat shop just making her little hats, and the Witch of the Waste comes and curses her and makes her an old lady. And she's kind of like, well, that's not very good. And so then I don't remember exactly her train of thought, but she just kind of leaves, and she, like, goes away, and she just starts walking, I think. Oh, that's right. So there's also this wizard, and where she grew up, she heard he's this horrible guy that eats girls' hearts and is just terrible person named Howel, and he lives in a moving castle. So she goes out to find Howel and his moving castle to see if he can reverse the spell that's been put on her by the Witch of the Waste. And that's kind of where the whole story evolves from. It's very funny. I really enjoyed reading it. It's a pretty quick read, but it's not one that you can it's not one that you're just gonna, like, get through in, like, one day, probably, just because you do enjoy reading it, and it is a thicker book, even though it has big text. And it's very entertaining. It's very well written. I like the language of the book. I like the plot. I love all the different little like, I guess, nuances of the storyline, and I love the characters. I think it's really good. I think the ending, like the last couple pages or so, kind of got a little bit rushed, but other than that, I think it was really, really well done, and I'd actually probably give this book like a 7.5 out of 10. So yeah, that's what I thought of Howl's Moving Castle. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next week. If you want to see any of my other book reviews, I will have this linked. It's in a playlist, so yeah, I can link the playlist also down below, so I'll just have that linked down below. I also have my last 2 videos linked down below, and I have all my social media down below. There's always something going on down below. Just go ahead and check it out, and please do subscribe. I will see you next week. Bye!